Alan, when I interviewed Bill and Emma and Dan in New York, they talked a lot about the film's queer sensibility and how Belle and Beast first connect because they're both outsiders, and that this is the thing that draws them together. Right. Would you agree with this?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. She's an odd duck, you know, completely. That's established right away in Belle. And the Beast is you know, shunned and is a complete outcast from society, and it feels inevitable.
There's that brilliant line as well, you can only be happy when you're free, which very much appeals to gay viewers, because that's the kind of thing that we all get.
Right, yeah.
And when I spoke to Emma and Dan and Bill, they all mentioned Howard Ashman's impact in the original film that you worked with him on, the lyricist Howard Ashman, and how he saw Beast as being a metaphor for him as a gay man living with AIDS, feeling monstrous, feeling he had to hide away from society.
Yeah, and when you mentioned Howard Ashman, you say lyricist, but Howard was executive producer. Howard was an amazing writer. I mean, he was probably the talent of our generation in musical theater, and we lost him so young. And basically, you know, Howard was HIV positive for years before he let anybody know. Because, you know, if you said you were HIV positive, you weren't going to work, period. Finally, literally at the Oscars for Little Mermaid, he said, I'm really happy tonight, but we have to talk. And we got back to New York and he told me. And yeah, you know, it felt like I should have known, because we were surrounded by people who were sick. It was a nightmarish time. And, but somehow, and this is not just me, anybody who was close to Howard sort of blocked it out. He said it was, hiatal hernia or something. I went, okay, that's what it is. And then he told me. And literally from that point, we finished the score, but it's just step by step, he was losing everything. And that was also reflected in Aladdin, too.
Yeah. And how much of his feelings do you think he did channel into the film? Do you think he did see Beast as being a metaphor?
I think there's two ways to look at it. One is that Howard, you know, took the opportunity to move to LA and work in Disney animation to block out, I think.
To escape.
To escape.
Yeah.
But then there was no escape. And it was, you know, it was so hard. And there were moments, there was a moment where they used to have this thing called the Walkman Pro. Now, the Walkman Pro was, I don't know, between $500 and $1,000. It was, you know, a little cassette recorder, and it was the creme de la creme. And he had this little mic to once get into it, and he said, the mic wasn't, and finally he just took it. This was before I knew that he was sick. He took the mic, he took the thing, and he smashed it against the wall, and he said, don't touch it. And it lay there broken. And it was shocking and it shook me up terribly. And then when I found out that he was sick, it made things easier in that we at least could talk about it.
Bill also told me that the character of Gaston was a little in-joke. He represented Howard's fantasy man.
Well, not unlike the dentist in Little Shop, too. Howard also loved to create villains and then beat them up. Yeah, it's kind of, Gaston is kind of rough trade.
So do you think that in that case, in the new film, you have LeFou as in love with Gaston? Do you think this is in keeping with Howard's original intentions?
Course. Oh my God, of course. I mean, obviously it's in code, you know, but he's basically in thrall and really, in love with Gaston. You know, what's that lyric in Gaston? Tell you which team he prefers to be on. I mean,
I'm not sure it's that coded though anymore. It was more, these things have been more in code before. It seems a lot more explicit now, and you've got this quite explicit gay moment at the end when he has the chance.
Well, that was Bill. I was curious if that was going to last. It lasted. I love that.
So do you think Howard would have approved?
Oh, he would have. I think he would have approved. But Howard, it's interesting. Listen, Howard's been gone for a long time, and the attitudes have in fact evolved. There were times where an openness was uncomfortable. So Howard, God, how would Howard feel? That's going to be a mystery. I presume he would be very supportive.
But 25 years later, as you say, attitudes have changed so much that you're actually able to be more explicitly gay-friendly and gay-welcoming in this film.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it's right there for all of us to see. And it works. It works beautifully.
And can I ask you one question to end, since we're next to this beautiful grand piano? Which was the song that you and Howard worked on that he was most fond of? Would you say?
Of all of our songs?
Well, of all of your songs. I was going to say in Beauty and the Beast, but of all of them.
Well, let's say Beauty and the Beast that I was going to, you know. And it certainly was a huge challenge writing that song. How much time do we have? I better not take up your time with just playing that. But there's also this song from Aladdin called Proud of You Boy, I'll Make You Proud of You Boy. There was a lot, and it's hard not to, you know, whether, you know, it's the Aladdin on stage or Beauty or whatever, it's hard not to just, you know, weep when I hear those songs performed, knowing he never saw any of those finished products, never.